Winter's almost over, we hope, and our days are getting longer and sunnier, as you saw in Marty's forecast. Your skincare routine shifts from protecting your skin from the cold to protecting it from the sun. And while it's important for all of us, teens need to pay special attention when it comes to tanning. There's legislation pending that would ban them from tanning salons. Right now, there are certain rules and regulations in place. Dr. Elizabeth Arthur from Hallandale Dermatology joins us this morning with advice on how teens can protect their skin now to avoid damage or potentially lethal skin cancer in the future. This isn't a joke. You know, we hear about, oh, I want to get out and get some sun, but you need to be careful nowadays. It's not something you just take lightly anymore.
No, I mean, we used to go and we used to talk about melanoma. When I was a resident, we talked about 1 in 250 patients developing a melanoma. Now we talk about 1 in 75.
Wow.
So those numbers have dramatically increased. And especially with teenagers, we never would have thought that we would have seen melanomas in teenagers. We see it probably once every 6 months.
Right.
In our practice, we probably have a melanoma or 2 every week.
Wow.
It's just really, it's serious stuff.
It's prom time coming up now. You know, teens are starting to go out to pick out their tuxes and their dresses and whatnot. And, you know, you often see that rush to the tanning salons to try and you know, get a good tan to look good in their dress or their tux. I know guys do it too.
Yeah.
It's girls and guys. But there are alternatives. There are ways to have that glow, that healthful glow that teens want without having to destroy their skin.
Absolutely. Spray tans are great. Self-tanners that you can apply yourself are great. You don't have to look like orange from, you know, 30, 40 years ago kind of
the
thing.
Oompa Loompa look.
Yes, you don't have to look
orange.
that way.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's a huge pressure, especially among the teenage girls, to tan for prom season. And it just, we know that so much of our sun exposure actually comes before the age of 18.
Mm-hmm.
And if we somehow could limit that, and, you know, it's bad enough when we were kids just running around without sunscreen on, and kids do that naturally anyway, and they get burned naturally. But then to go and add that insult of a tanning bed is just really, we really try to discourage people.
Now, what are the dangers of the tanning salon? I know the tanning salon industry says that tanning indoors is not any more dangerous than tanning outside. What's the difference?
Well, it's a lot of radiation.
Right.
I mean, it's people tend to go and sort of use their common sense, in all honesty, when they're outdoors, that if they're out there for a half an hour and they start to pink up, they go back inside.
Right.
Or they get too physically warm, in all honesty.
Okay.
You know, they start getting a headache, or they start getting maybe a little dehydrated, so they go back. Their body tells them
to go back inside.
To go back inside.
Or take a rest, to get under some shade.
And with the tanning beds, you know, sometimes people will go 3, 4, 5 times a week, and I always sort of say that, you know, how could anything be healthy when it gives you a full tan in 7 minutes or 5 minutes?
Okay.
And it's a lot of radiation. It's a lot of energy. You know,
Sure.
A lot of, you know, young kids are, you know, concerned about, you know, ecology and the green movement and everything. It's a lot of energy that they're using.
Okay.
It's just, I always sort of equate it that we know it causes skin cancer. There's no doubt about that. Everything's been proven. So, but what else is it doing to our bodies? We don't even know.
So use common sense advice.
Common sense, absolutely.
Use a spray to go spray tanning, or apply a self tanner.
Absolutely.
And then of course SPF. We often hear you got to use it.
Yep, you've got to use it. You've got to read labels. Not all sort of sunscreens are created equally. You know, we generally try to recommend things with zinc oxide in them, which act more like an immediate sun block. They give you a better protection from the UV rays.
Zinc oxide.
Zinc oxide, the old sort of, white. But they pulverize it and they make it spreadable, so
it doesn't look like chalky in your skin.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or titanium. You want to look for sunscreens that would cover both A and B, but know that it's really sort of like a small filter. It's not a 100% protection.
So use your common sense.
Common sense is always your best bet.
Yeah, I know, like, you can go outside, do some gardening, and get a lot of sun that way.
Absolutely.
Or go for a walk,
Yeah.
just a general walk, or a quick 20-minute walk, and you'd still get a lot of sun exposure.
Yep.
All right, so again, you don't have to look like a pumpkin. When you go to your prom, you can look for more natural ways to look good and save your skin.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dr. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Norma.
Dr. Elizabeth Arthur from Hallandale Dermatology.